Okay, thank you so much for joining me this morning. My name is Rachel Pratt. I am Vice President of Operations for BEX. I'm also co-founder, or not co-founder, but co-designer and creator of DATABEX. So I'm the right person to ask if you have any questions, especially when it comes to the technical aspects of the database, or if you're trying to get that perfect search results. I'm a good person to ask, and my contact information is available on the website as well. So I'm going to share my screen so we can check out the actual app. This is the dashboard when you log in, and you will see the top menu up at the top here. This is also where you can get to all the searches, but you can also get to the searches from these blue buttons down here below. There is some shortcut buttons at the top in purple to certain aspects of your account. So you will have save searches, you'll have projects that you're following, your projects you've expressed interest on. So these are just going to be lists, the pages that show all of these projects that you have on that particular interest list or follow list, etc. We also assign project ID numbers to each project. They're super easy to remember. They're just a 4-digit number, most cases, sometimes 3. So that if you have this project that you're particularly interested in and you know that number, you can just type it into this search right here and it will go straight to that project profile, and then you can you don't have to navigate through any of the searches. So, excuse me. So it's a direct search. We do have quite a few ways to search for projects in this database. We can search by the details of the project, which includes things like the valuation or the market sector, the status, like that. You can also search by a keyword, the location, which is our map search, and then you can search by recent activity to see what projects we've been putting in and what projects have been recently updated. We also have a company search, a contact search, and then a solicitation search for projects bidding and out for RFQs, etc. Reports, this is a way to get a customized report. If you're not getting the information that you need on any of the reports that come out of this particular database, you can request to have a custom one made, and we're happy to do that for you. We also have a manager tab for those that have assigned as a manager. And I'll go into that later. And then a help site too. So if you have any questions or if you just want to figure out how to do something, you can go into the help site and it'll show you how to do that. And then there's also a contact BEX, which is where you will find myself and Rebecca's contact information. And this part of your account is where everything is stored. And I'll dive into that in a minute. So let me just get through the dashboard and then we'll dive into some searches. Like I said, these are shortcuts to those certain aspects of your account. Here we have a keyword search. You can also save this search, and all you do is check the box, give it a name, put in the keyword, and then search. And now that's saved to my account, and I have it anytime I need it. One of the better things about the save searches, other than just having it on hand, is that it's part of a program that we created called the Daily Digest. And what it does is that any project search that you save will be run every morning, and then the results will be emailed to you for any new projects or any updated projects that meet your criteria. So you always stay on top of what's coming in and what's being updated in the database that fit your perfect criteria. So here we have a list of keyword, garage I put in there. And anywhere you see a table inside of DATABEX, you'll also see a download data option with a CSV or PDF option. Now, CSV is going to be table format, compatible with Excel, and then PDF you can print off. So there's 2 different ways to actually come in and get that report. These project owner status, these are all sortable. So you can sort them by project name, or you can sort by owner. Wherever you see a purple eyeball is a project that I'm following. And I'll show you how to do that when we dive into a project profile. But the purpose of following the project is that you get an email notification sent to you real time anytime it's updated by our research team. So then you always stay up to date on that particular project. And details will actually take you to the project profile. So let me go ahead and make sure I get into the project search by details. This is kind of the go-to for project searches. It just has so many options for you to actually search, lots of different criteria. It works for a very narrow approach if you're looking for a specific project, as well as a list of projects that you are looking for. Specifically, project name works really well. And again, here's that save search option. There's 3 different places in the database that you can save a search. One is the keyword. The second one is this one, which is the search by details. And the third one is the solicitation search. So there's ways for you to get notifications on projects that have solicitations that meet your criteria. So let's get into this. Project name, owner. You can search all the projects by a certain owner, city, state, zip code, sector, which includes federal, even P3, tribal, public, private. And then these are really, really great for general contractors and design firms. If you're looking for a particular project that has your service available or the contract has not been assigned, you can actually just check the box here that says, I want to make sure that the design contract is available or that the construction contract is available. And then search your criteria and search. And then you make sure that that particular project is an opportunity for you and you can weed out all the rest of them. Method of delivery, if it's selected, so if you're looking for a specific project, this is probably what I would use rather than a list of projects. Many of them haven't been announced yet, so they're to be determined in this case. Project status is probably one of the more popular ways to search. You can search from all projects in every aspect of the project life, all the way from added to CIP, so they're planning to do something in the future. If there's pre-planning for private side, they're actually purchasing land in order to build something in the future, that kind of thing. So we do focus early on these projects. That's what our main goal is, to get the pre-bid rather than the active bid. We do get active bid, but our focus is really on the pre-bid. So you will find a lot in here for design plan review. We do track master plans, ones that might be pending funding for a general contractor. Maybe it's under construction, planning, pre-planning, which is one I mentioned earlier, and completed, canceled, on hold, and then under construction. So this is also multi-selectable. You can just click on these and then deselect them the same way. Market is another popular way to filter in here. We have created a kind of a hierarchy of markets within the system just to make it easier for you to find things. We've separated them into 2 groups, vertical and horizontal. Obviously, horizontal will be the civil stuff, and then the vertical will be the commercial side. So you can really kind of hone in on what projects you're looking for. And then we have kind of a subsector, I guess you could say, where you could just search for education or just for healthcare, or you can get very specific. Actually, I just want K-12 projects. If you select healthcare, it's going to pick up everything underneath the healthcare, which includes assisted living, hospitals, and medical office buildings. Or you can get specific and just choose one. I just want to kind of show you that they're all going to be associated with healthcare. Hope that came out correctly. Industrial, there's lots of different industrial ones, but if you wanted just all industrial, you can get it. Or just specifically data centers. So we do track data centers as well, multifamily, office, retail, parking garages, public works, retail, you name it, it's in here. And it is multi-selectable. We do offer a search by division. It goes to that first level of the division. We don't get any further down than that at this time, but it is definitely an option if you're looking for a specific division. And of course, we do estimated valuation. So if you're looking for projects that are over $100 million, you just put in $100 million on the low end. And then if you don't want to put a cap on it, you just leave that empty. Or you can put the range in. And the same applies for square footage. So let's do a search and see what we get. I'm I'm going to go ahead and pick one that's in, let's say, design. And does anybody have any particular market sector they want me to search? No? Anybody coming in with the market sector? K-12, got it. All right, let's do K-12. There it is, bam. So we're looking for projects in design in the K-12 market. All right, so let's go ahead and do a search. And we're gonna get our results page. Now it's gonna give me everything in the database. If I did not select a status, it would give me everything, including completed projects. But since I chose a status that was active projects only, I don't have to filter this down further. Now, again, we have project owner, status, city, and then here's that project ID I mentioned earlier, that 4-digit number. So if you wanted to come in here later and look at legacy, you just have to remember 3133, type it in, you're there. So let's go ahead and check this one out, legacy traditional schools. Oh, I want to get one with an actual rendering. Let's see. If they're in design, a lot of them don't have renderings, but sometimes we get them for that in the preliminary. Yep, there it goes. Okay, so this isn't a rendering of the school, but it is a rendering that we've added to the project to show you where it is. This one is in pre-construction at the moment. We've estimated that it's under construction. You can see we have a timeline here, right? So this is the today marker, and this will tell you, okay, yeah, we're kind of in the construction phase here. So we've estimated that the construction is actually happening right now, and that's why it says that it's estimated. It's probably still in design. We're probably getting in contact with someone that's been, yeah. So the GMP for right-hand companies. So right-hand companies has this one right now, and they're probably doing the pre-construction on it. So it kind of gives you a quick overview of what's happening with the project just by looking at the timeline, which is really awesome. So let's keep going. You do have options to PDF these projects. So they give you a lot of information that you can print out and take into a meeting. I'll jump back into that in just a second. Remember earlier I talked about that little eyeball where you follow a project? So I just click on follow, and now this project has been added to my follow list. I will get email notifications anytime it's actually updated by a researcher. And you can tell when it was last updated by this date right here. So you can see we last checked on this project on January 20th, and we actually had an update on 11/19 of 2020. All right. Here's the status, design pre-construction, and our status notes. So the last time that we talked to someone was on 11/19, and we got who we talked to, when we talked to them, and what they said. So as of 11/19, a GMP for right-hand construction has been approved in the amount of $7 million, yada, yada, yada. And then you can see there's a timestamp on there, so you know when we got that information. We also have previous status notes, which kind of gives you a history of what happened with the project. And then on the job. So if you're familiar with our magazine, we have a little section in there called On the Job, and it gives you the who's and the what on the project. And here we have the who's again, the owner, design firm, and prime contractor at a quick glance. And then we have the project details, which is going to give you the method of delivery, the estimated valuation, the address, the sector, the square footage, and the market, as well as a project description. Now, this is just a brief project description to give you an idea of what this project is about. We also have a schedule in here, a tentative schedule, and detailed description and notes as well. So you get more information about the actual project here. We do list out the divisions below that. And then here's the contacts. So we have the actual people that are working on this particular project. We have the construction manager, Tim Tyrell of Right-Hand Construction, and he's clearly marked with a stamp of prime contractor, so you can quickly notice who is prime contractor and who is the design firm. ADM group with, Nina Sheriff with ADM group is marked as the design firm. And then of course we have the owner. And we do have these emails and phone numbers of all these people. And you can also check out what else ADM group is doing by just clicking on ADM. It's going to open up a company profile. Now we're going to list out all the information we have about this particular company, including the markets they work in, their logo, and then all the contacts that we have inside of the database. Now these contacts are particular to the database. We're not trying to track everyone in their company. It would be a waste of time of our research team. We just want to track the pertinent people, the people that are actually working on these projects, the people that can tell you answers and get you jobs. So that's what we're trying to track inside of the database. You can also click on details of these people, and another really cool thing is it's going to tell you all the related projects that Ben Barcone is listed on. So you know that he's working on all of these projects personally, like that's the contact, right? We have his LinkedIn information, his phone number, the address, email. So this is a really great way to kind of get your way in on one project and then mention a few more. Okay, let me back up just a minute. Underneath the contacts in the company profile, you will get a list of active projects. These are the ones that have not completed construction that they're active on right now. There's 10, and you can see they're all schools except for this one. Most of them are all schools. So you can see the actual status. This one's in design, under construction, pre-planning. You have a lot of information here as well as a history of the projects that they've been on. And there's quite a few. These actually go to the owner. So if you want to find out what else that particular owner is doing, you just click on that. It opens up another company profile with the same information. So this is a relational database that we're using here. So you can get to one thing from another very easily. And doing that, we can actually cross the information together so that it helps you get an understanding of this type of, okay, this particular company's got all this actually attached to them. It's one of the great things about this database. So let me back up again, and here's that PDF that we have for the project that I didn't quite get to. Then we have a rendering, of course. We also have the project fundamentals is what we call it. We have the owner and the market sector. It's that little box, the details box, the project description, and then the detailed description as well. And then a timeline. So that timeline that we had, it's just the same thing. It's in table format. So we got, okay, yeah, the design was starting on 4/1. It was supposed to finish up on 12/31. And you got to pay attention to these as estimated, because this is our research team going in and going, yeah, this is estimated. It wasn't a confirmed date. So we have the the status next, design and pre-construction, and then the status notes, the current one, as well as the history, the previous status notes, the contacts, a map, the divisions and solicitations attached to this particular project. So there's a lot of information in this PDF that you can print off and then take into a meeting, etc. All right, I'm coming back to the project profile. We're going to finish up this page. Underneath the contacts is the map feature. It is kind of interactive. You can zoom in and out to get your bearings and where you're at. And then the files are down at the bottom. So we do track municipal documents, we track renderings, we track plans and specs, we track articles, which I want to get a better example because this one's not the best example of like all the things that we actually get. Let me see if I can find something better, and I don't even think that's the right number. I want to show you something that has more in it so you can see all the stuff that we're doing. No. Okay. How about this one? I'm going to go into the dashboard real quick. I'm searching a keyword, Liberty. All right, let's see. We got Liberty Elementary School. And I know that we had somebody that signed up for our Zoom meeting today, that Southwest Earthwork, I think. I don't know if they're on the line, but if they are, they might recognize this project. Liberty Elementary School rebuild. So you can see there's the beautiful rendering. We have dots in here that represent date, like due dates, like hard dates, not ranges. So they decided they selected a design professional on 1/13. They advertised it on 11/19 of 2019. So you can see, just hover over these and they'll give you the exact information that they're representing. Okay, so this one's under construction. Again, the same information. It was last checked on December 2nd. Here's the latest status notes. They have a construction start date and a construction finish date. So let me keep going through here. All right, here we go. On this side, we have links, which in this case, there aren't any. But when they are here, most of the time it's when an owner like sets up a website for that particular project, and we're just trying to give you information about it. So that's where that would be. Here's where we add solicitations. So we have a CMAR and a design request on here, and I'll dive into those in 1 second. The notes, there's notes on companies and there's notes on projects. Now they work the exact same way. And what's really cool about this is that you can share a note to your team that's actually signed up with the database, so you can communicate with each other on particular projects. When you share a note, it sends an email to those team members, just your team, and it lets them know that you left a note on this project. Then they can go in, check it out, and see what you wrote. As a private note, only you would see it on your project profile. So it's a great way to track information as you progress through the business development process. If there are any associated projects, meaning maybe they're part of a master plan or it's a multi-phased project, you will see the associated projects listed here. And interested parties, this is a way for database users to communicate with other database users that you are interested in providing services on this project. So Bryce Patterson with Graybar has expressed interest on this project, saying that he can provide divisions 26, 27, 28, and 33 on this project. So there's a way for you to make connections with other database users. All right, and then down below, again, we have municipal docs and renderings. And this is, I want one with a bunch of documents. This one doesn't have a bunch, but we do track articles. So any of the articles that we actually have inside of the magazine that mention these projects, we pull them and we add them into the database. So they're always listed there. You can find out what's been happening. You can read up on the project. Are there any questions on the project profile? No. Okay, if there is, feel free to interrupt me. I'm going to keep going. So we did the search by details. We searched by keyword. Now let's search by location. This is our map search. This one's actually really interesting. I love this one. It just takes a minute to load, so you got to be patient. But when it does, you'll be very happy with the results. Trust me. I have a developer that's got this on his list to improve the speed. But what it's doing is it's finding your location. So it'll probably have a little pop-up that says, can we use your location? And then you just say allow. And what it does is it will pop up a map of your current location, which I'm in Tempe. And then it'll say, okay, I have all these active projects. So it's looking at all the active projects in the database, and it's going to drop pins on them right now. So you just got to wait for it. It's loading. In the meantime, let me show you what's going on up here. This bar will only pan the map. So it is not a search function, it is a pan function. And there's all the pins as I start talking about everything. So you can see all of the projects. You can zoom out and you can see it's literally like taking every project that we have in the database that's active and plotting it on the map. And of course, yes, we only do Arizona right now. We are going to expand in other states, but at this moment we have Arizona, and we only track projects that are $5 million or higher in construction value. So do keep that in mind when you're looking for projects. A lot of the time they don't meet our evaluation, so we don't put them in the database. So let me zoom back in. You can see there's a couple of blue ones that pop up. Those blue ones are projects that I'm following. So it's like, okay, I know you're following this one. You don't need to look at that one anymore. I'm already following it. But it turns up blue just to make sure that you can see the difference. Now, there is an option to show completed and canceled projects in here as well. And when you do that, they pop in gray. So you have 3 colors. You have the gray, the purple, and the blue. I know it's a very colorful database. You can also just show the projects that you followed, and that's it. Just clear search, and then it'll just drop those blue pins down. Now this one's probably the most useful of these, which is searching by market sector. So you filter by market sector. So say I want to find, let's go ahead and try those K-12 projects again. I go in, I search, and it drops some pins. There we go. Let me zoom out a little bit. So now all these K-12 projects are plotted on the map of the Phoenix metropolitan area. Now, really, the most useful thing about this is like you hover over it, it gives you the name. When you click on it, it gives you a little bit of detail about the project, the address, the evaluation, and the status. You can click on the full details and it'll take you to the project profile, or you can add it to a list. And what happens is it starts populating these projects underneath the map, and you can create a customized list. So if you just want to find these projects here and you want to put them into a list to take into a meeting, you click on that, it starts populating them down below. Here it is, and then you can download it as a CSV or a PDF. And obviously you can go to the project profile if you need to, just by clicking on details. But that's a really nice way to be able to customize a list to download as a PDF or a CSV. And it's a great way to find out what's going on around you. One of the things that I love about this is like you're going, driving around and you see a project that's going up and you're like, what is that? I have no idea what it is. And like, well, the fences won't tell you anything. So you go into here and you just pan the map to that location and you're like, okay, let me hover over this one. It's Madison Park Elementary School campus replacement. There it is. So I thought that was a really useful way to use it. All right, let's move on. So we did project details, keyword, location. Now recent activity. It's pretty simple. It's going to give you a list of the recently added projects and the recently updated. So if I go into added, you can see all these projects that have been recently added. And of course, you can go to the details or the project profile from here, download, etc. And you can also find out what's been recently updated. Same story. All right, now I'm going to search by company. So this works for both a specific company and a list of companies. So maybe I just want to find architects that do, in Arizona, that do multifamily, for example. I can search that. And now I have a list of all of these 133 companies that do multifamily in Arizona, listed alphabetically. Of course, you can sort by type, which doesn't really help you because they're all architects anyway. So going to the details, you can go to each of these companies. And now it's going to take you to that company profile, where again, it's going to list the contacts and the projects that we have on that particular company. Here's the notes section I mentioned earlier. That's the same for projects and for companies. It's over here. I didn't point it out when I covered the company profile previously, so I did want to mention that. Anytime you see associated companies like this, it's very similar to associated projects where it links two companies together. So maybe this company is also another company, the same office location. They just created 2 LLCs for whatever reason. They have many of them. We try to link them together so that you can see the relationship. All right, so we do have
Rachel.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's a question from the map function.
Yeah.
Can you look at your notes on projects you're following, or do you have to open the project detail page to get to that?
From the map?
Yeah, from the map function.
No, you have to open the project to see the notes. Or you can go to your notes in your account to see it. But you can't directly see, it doesn't show you directly from the map search. Sorry about that. Okay. So let's keep going. We've got companies. Contacts works very similar to companies. You can search by, you can search for email or name or a certain person, or you can search by the company or the company type. So if you're looking for all the people, the landscape architects, for example, we can search that, and it's going to give you a list of all the landscape architects, all the people in the company that are landscape architects. Hope that makes sense. And this is downloadable as well, and it's great for putting into your CRM system. So when you download the searches for the contacts, you get quite a bit of information. Let me move this over, zoom in. Company name, the contact name, the title, office phone, direct phone, their LinkedIn, their cell phone, and their email. So this is a really great information to be able to upload into your CRM. All right, let me keep going. So we did companies. Let's go into solicitations. So solicitations, this is going to, by default, search for active solicitations only. So if you're looking for bid results or an award, you've got to make sure to display all on the availability, just to keep that in mind. So let's say I do want to show you one that's been awarded so you can see everything in it. I'm just going to do a search. Let's go ahead and keep with the theme we've got and go with K-12. So I'm going to search for awarded solicitations in the K-12. Now you can search for open solicitations in K-12 as well, and it will give you the list. Now this one, let's see, we have, this one was a big one. When we did our forecast event, I remember the Look at You Guy Community School. I had to look up how to say that because I had to present it. Subbids were requested. And let's see, we do track general contractors requesting subbids, absolutely. We track the owners looking for design firms, for construction managers, CMARs, everything. We track the public side and the private side is what I'm trying to tell you. Let's try Somerton High School. Actually, you know what? Let me try a different one because that one doesn't have a pre-bid and I want to show you what the pre-bids look like. Let's try this one. I'm usually pretty good at picking projects that have a bunch of stuff on them to show, but I feel like today I haven't been at my best at picking. All right, let's see the renderings coming in here. So this is a renovation rebuild project for Gilliland, it's a lot of L's, middle school. Again, here's that timeline, right? You can see where we're at, and they requested the CMAR and they're in the interview process. So they closed the actual solicitation, but they haven't made a selection yet. All right, so this is in a planning stage. They haven't started the design work yet. Looks like they made the selection in December. And this is a CMAR project. But you know what I wanted to do is actually, instead of clicking on this one, you click on this one, because that's the details of the solicitation. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't do that. There we go. So now we're looking at a solicitation. You can get to the solicitation from the profile down here. All right. Now we can see this is an RFQ for design. It's been closed. They're looking for architectural services. We always have a contact for the solicitations, always have an email and phone number. So we give you the solicitation details here, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. The reference number, we have a due date, of course, the request description. Is there a pre-submittal conference? Yes. Is it mandatory? No. When is it? Where is it? And then we have tentative notes. So they have a schedule, like a tentative schedule, and we've added that in here as well. So we can see that we know SPS Plus Architects were a firm submitting on this project, and they were actually awarded this project as well. So not sure there normally is more than one submission on the public ones, but maybe they did not make that public. So when there is, you will see a list of people or companies, I should say, that bid or submitted on this project. We also have the solicitation files down below and any plans and specs that were available. That includes the amendments, the sign-in sheets, any of the actual requests, that kind of information. And all of these are viewable and downloadable. So if you just want to view them, great. Or you can download them and keep them on hand. If there's any other related solicitations, you can see them here. So here's the CMAR one, right? This is the design firm and their design request, and this is for the CMAR request. So it's just a way to link those together. You can also go back to the project from this button here and follow the project from here. So I don't want to dive too further into solicitations because I want to get through some more stuff. I did go over reports with you what that was. Let me dive into the manager option. So every account should have at least one manager, and the manager is able to assign licenses and remove licenses from the account. They can also add people to the account with add new user. So if I wanted to add in a new employee, I could add in new user, type it in, and then what I would have to do is assign their office. Now, hold on. I actually have a new employee starting next on Monday, so I can put her in here now. Email L. Parrish. You might know her. She's a previous employee. Senior researcher, and you can obviously add in a mobile, direct, and LinkedIn. Save that. Oh, looks like I already added her. Never mind. But when you save it, it'll add it in here, and then you edit. You got to make sure to edit afterwards to assign the license, because all you did was actually add the person, and now you assign the license. And you would say, I don't want to disable her access, but if I enabled it, it would say enable. I'd click on that, and then I would have to send her an email to invite her to set up a password. And I know it's a little complicated, and I have a step-by-step instructions on the help menu in here, which I can definitely show you what that looks like. So here's that help menu. It's a search of knowledge base, right? I've also created a forum for you and a standing video tutorial, just like the one you're watching today. Further down the road, as we add more videos, I'm going to add more tutorials to certain things so that it's, you know, more videos rather than just the articles on the left here. You can see account management is where we need to go. But if you're looking for user, for example, it's like adding users and assigning licenses. Oh, that's super easy. That's exactly what I wanted. And here's step-by-step instructions on how to do that. So this site is just, we just launched this site. It's new. That's why there's no videos yet, because I haven't done them yet. And I just wanted to show you what that looks like. All right, now this is a great part of this particular presentation because we get to go into the account information. Searching is great, and then you set up your information and you get what you call the daily digest, which I mentioned to you earlier when you save those searches. You get a daily notification. If daily is too much, you can actually just opt in for a weekly or none. So whichever way you want to choose it, you do have that option. Just remember to save it. Otherwise, it doesn't know what you want. Okay, so here's my profile information. My company account information here as well. It tells me my term, how many users I'm allowed to have, and when it expires. It's also going to give me the name of the billing manager. You can change your password from here as well. And then of course, these are all the users in our account because my account is you know, it's us and it's our database. So everybody's in there. Let's keep going. Project notes and company notes are almost identical. It's just going to list all those notes that you put out. So if you wanted to go to the project you left a note on, you can't remember what it is, just go into the notes. Oh yeah, that's the one I want to go into, and then you can get into the project. You can also delete the notes from this page, but you need to go into the project to delete it from the project. Again, company notes, same thing. Now, following is different. This one's a really great list, and why is because it serves as a tagging system. So you can create some kind of system that works for you. One of our users has actually created a way to use it as a CRM system. So she'll put in dates that she needs to follow back up with certain companies or certain projects. And then when she searches that date, all those dates show up in the list. So for example, I'm trying to find one that has like more than one. So let me, I go into edit, for example, and I want to add another one that says 12/1/20. And then I update it. So you can add more than one tag too. Just separate it by a comma and a space, like this one, for example. There's 3 tags on that one. So then I can come in here and say, okay, today is 12/1/20. I want to find all the projects that have that particular date on them, and I know I need to follow up on those. So that's really a really useful way to use this. You can unfollow the projects from here as well. All right, now we're going to keep going. Interested. Now this is just a list of those interested projects that you expressed interest on. And of course you can remove your interest from this as well. Now saved searches is a list of all of your saved searches. Now remember, there was 3 places you can save a search: in projects, search by details, project keyword, and then solicitations. So here's all my project saved searches. Now I can edit them too. If I find that they're not giving me the information that I need, I can edit the actual information. So I'm like, I'm going to remove design plan review and master plan. I just want added CIP and planning. And then I just save it, and now it's updated that saved search for me. So I don't have to create a new one and delete it. And remember, those are the ones that are going to be emailed to you every morning, and I can show you what that looks like. And tell me if I'm not showing my my Outlook screen, because I may have just shared the. Can you see my Outlook?
No.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure if I shared it or not. There we go. Okay, so here is a daily digest. Gives me all the projects that were new, project results on those particular saved searches. So I can go to the project profile straight from here. And here's all the list of the updated projects that I have for that saved search and that particular saved search. So you can see it's separating them out, it's showing me what's new. If there's any new solicitations, then they're down below here. Okay, let me get out of that. And that kind of concludes the presentation. I'm definitely happy to answer any questions or do any searches you'd like me to do. Please just feel free to talk. I'm definitely allowing everyone to chime in and give their question if they have one. No? Okay. Well, if you do have any questions, my email is rpratt@azbex.com. You can just feel free to email me, ask me any questions you need to, and I'm happy to answer them. Thank you so much for spending your Friday morning with me, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.